Oh, hello, Halito, that's the Victoria Toastie. Aloha country news. Here's a winter puzzle for you. Say you live in a remote Alaska village and you need to pick up some lumber or go to the clinic to fix your broken tooth. But it's winter and everything's under snow. So you typity type and oh no, there's no driving around. Okay. What about a bus? No, no, of course not. Walking? No. Biking? Nothing? A lot of the time people here get around by plane, but what if you have to carry a bunch of cargo home and it's too heavy for your buddy's puddle jumper? In Southwest Alaska, the solution today is the same as it's been for thousands of years. You take the river! Every winter when the Kuskokwim River freezes over, the people there maintain it as an ice road. They plow it, mark it, and maintain it for like a 200-mile stretch. And it gets all kinds of traffic too. Read our Alaska correspondent Victoria Peterson's look at what it takes to maintain an ice road in Alaska. A little over a year ago, HCN talked to researchers in Texas who were mapping for the first time transboundary aquifers that straddled the U.S.-Mexico border. At the time, they'd mapped 39 aquifers, but hadn't yet tackled the Texas border itself. Now the mapping project is complete, and it shows a grand total of 72 aquifers on the borders between California, Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas, and the Mexican states of Baja California, Sonora, Chihuahua, Coahuila, Nuevo Leon, and Tamaulipas. It took researchers 10 years, partly because everyone was using different ways to measure aquifers. Researchers had to come up with a standardized way to determine the outlines of the aquifers, but there's still no legal framework governing the use of this groundwater, so researchers hope the new data will prompt bi-national agreements. Our climate justice fellow Caroline Tracey reports. With all the crazy weather that's been happening in California, it's a good time to stop and think about how emergency response and preparedness strategies leave some vulnerable people behind. The poor and underinsured, for instance, can't just stock up on their critical medications in advance of a big storm. For disabled people who depend on electronic machines, a power outage can be fatal. And why aren't rescue vans wheelchair accessible by default? Writer Alice Wong recounts what it's like to be disabled in a storm, anxiously topping up backup batteries for your support machines and not hydrating to be sure you can hold your bladder for hours until your caregiver can get to you, only to get a text later that they're delayed another hour. Don't miss this important perspective piece on inclusivity. You know the address, it's hcn.org. My name's Toastie, and now you know the West. GP's La Cheeky.